Hi there guys, it's Evelyn from Career Jump here, and today I'm going to be talking about how to answer competency-based interview questions using the STAR technique. I have something very special for you today. So we have created an amazing program that's called the 21-Day Career Jumpstart Guide. So if you are at the beginning of your career, or you want to change your career, or you're just looking for a new job, then this is the right guide for you. So what happens is, a lot of us, when we start looking for a job, we start checking things online, but there's so much information, it can be so confusing, we really don't know where to start from. And because of that, we created the 21-day career jumpstart plan, which gives you the exact steps of what you need to do in order to be successful in your job search, so that you can get more job interviews, more calls from recruiters, and then obviously get your dream job. So check out the link below in the description, and don't forget to download this completely free guide, which will help you find the job that you want. Okay, so you may ask, what are competency-based interviews and why do I need to know this STAR technique? So first of all, competency-based interviews are interviews that are really asking you to give examples with your previous experience. So the interviewer will be asking you questions that will be prompting you to talk about what you have done in the past, in previous jobs, or anything else that you can relate to the job. These are one of the most popular interview questions nowadays, and probably almost all the interviews that you go to, they will ask you a question like that. So how to recognize them? The first and really easy way is, the moment that you hear the question, ask yourself, is this question in past tense? Are they asking me something about that happened in the past, an experience of mine that I have done? So I'll give you an example. So if they say, okay, describe a situation when you have dealt with a difficult customer. So you can identify easily that the dealt bit is obviously in the past, therefore they're asking you for past experience. One of the first things that you need to do before you go for a competency-based interview is, you need to prepare yourself. Preparation. This is absolute key for your success. So how to do that? First of all, you need to look at the job description, and you need to anticipate some of the possible questions that you might be asked. And this is quite straightforward because you already know the job description, so you can see what are the important things to the employer. So if in the job description they focus on things such as communication, or they focus on things such as like your IT skills, then probably your questions will be in that direction. So they'll probably ask you about how you used your communication skills to close a contract or do something like that. To answer competency-based questions, or the so-called experience-based questions, you need to have a structure. And there is no better structure in the recruitment, hiring, or whatever word you want to call it, than the STAR technique. STAR stands for situation, task, action, result. It gives you a really good structure, because when you're answering competence-based questions, you need to start with the situation, talk about what the task was, focus on the action, and then finish with the result. If you follow that structure, I can tell you that you will be successful every single time when you answer an experience-based question. Okay, so let's start with the situation. First of all, a very important rule: never assume that the interviewer or the hiring manager has read your CV. Probably your CV was left with the recruitment team and they probably never have seen it. So never assume that. So don't just speak as if like they know everything about you. And that's why it's so important to start with the situation. So explain what kind of situation you were in. Explain what kind of job you were in, what kind of company you were in. just with few sentences. Don't go over length, but you need to set up the scene. It is very important to tell them, this is where I worked, this is the situation that I was in. Then start with the second stage, which is the task. So what was the task? In this case is what was the problem? What did you solve? So explain to them, this is what happened and this is what I had to solve. This is your task basically. Very, very important. So you set up the scene. Normally when I use the STAR technique, I kind of combine the situation and the task together. So I overall call it setting up the scene. So you're giving the initial information before you go into the next section, which is action. The action is probably the most important section, and you need to focus 70 to 80% of your answer for that section. Explain exactly what you did and how you reacted and how you solved the problem. And don't be afraid to go into details, and don't be afraid to say things step by step. The clearer you are in your answer, the better it would be the result after that. So a lot of people are saying, okay, well, they ask me how I prioritize my workload, and then I go into the action bit. It's like, what do I say? Well, I would say go into detail. Tell them I use to-do list, or I use my Outlook account, or whatever you do, explain to them, because what they want to know is the way how you work. Because the way how you did your work in the past, that's how you would potentially do your work in the future and in that job, and that's what they want to hear. So don't be afraid of details. So always when you focus on the action bit, when you're explaining what you did, never forget to talk about yourself and say I. A lot of people are coming and saying, we did this, we as a team did this. Well, I can tell you that they're not hiring the team, they're hiring you, and they want to know what you did and not what the team did. Therefore, make sure that you focus on the action that you did. How did you contribute? How did you organize this? Always think about what did you do in that situation? How did you solve it? Etc. Obviously depending on the question. So as I said, 70 to 80% focus on the action, and then the final bit, the result. Okay, so you set up the scene, so you explain what the situation was, you explained what the task was, you focused on your actions, not anyone else's actions, your actions, and now you need to finish with what the result was. What was the impact of your actions? So a lot of people ask me, okay, well, what if it didn't turn out the best way? Obviously, ideally, you would want to have positive outcome, and you would want to finish your answer with a positive story. You want to say that whatever you did had an amazing result. However, there are some cases when this is not happening, and that's perfectly fine. You can still use a negative example. However, when you finish with and you say, okay, well, this is what I did, this is what happened, it wasn't so positive, don't finish it like that. Don't finish your sentence like that. Make sure you say what you have learned from this situation. Demonstrate that regardless if you made a mistake, regardless if something turned out the wrong way, you can learn from the situation, and you have grown and you know what to do next time. It is super important that you focus and you always finish on a positive note. I can tell you, if you finish with something negative, the interviewer will only remember the negative stuff at the end. But if you say what you have learned out of the negative situation, then they'll remember that you're capable of learning from mistakes and that you're very experienced, regardless if the situation was not as positive as you want it to be. But if you have a positive result, positive outcome, please don't hesitate to say what happened and use numbers, use percentages, use any reports that you had. So say that due to all the work or due to the actions you have taken, this resulted in increase of 20% sales, or this resulted in whatever it resulted in. Don't hesitate to say how good you are, and that due to your actions, due to your efforts, the company progressed further. So just to recap, the STAR technique is situation, task, action, result. You set up the scene, you focus your answer on the 70 to 80% on the action, and then you finish on a positive note with positive results. And if you don't have one, then always finish with what you have learned from the not so positive situation. That was all from me today. Please don't forget to download your 21-day career jumpstart plan, link below in the description, and please like this video and subscribe for our channel to get more videos like that. Thank you.